Facebook is a very touchy subject, and this video is not going to be a Facebook bashing video. It's going to be a discussion of the benefits, the criticisms, and lastly, 7 questions that I have that will help you establish Facebook's role in your life. Welcome to my video. If you're new to my content, my name is Rob. I'm a retired national athlete turned coach who now pursues things that's going to improve my life and tries to remove things that are going to hurt my life. And for full disclosure, I deleted Facebook about 6 months ago now, so this is kind of like a 6-month anniversary video. I'm going to share my insights as well as some insights that I've gotten from the first video I made about my experience quitting Facebook, which is linked up there and below if you want to watch that one after. So what makes Facebook worth it? Every one of us is going to differ on what they are, but for me, my top 3, first and foremost, is the groups and communities. When Facebook first started, it was an amazing rush of people that came together to share experiences and insights and cheer each other on as we made progress towards things. And maybe I'm romanticizing it because that was over a decade ago, but I remember it being a positive place where you could learn things and pursue things and really connect with people. That's why it's third on my list. The second place on my list goes to the memories. I'm 33 years old, so I grew up and I remember a time before Facebook, before the internet, cell phones, social media, all of these things. I remember a life before that, and the problem with that is that all of my memories from that predate this technology are limited to my ability to remember them. So when Facebook came and gave us the opportunity to share a photo and have it forever, and share a comment and share a status update, and then remind us each year of what we said that day, having it be 100% accurate and for better or for worse, and not having to remember it was amazing. I loved it. It was an instant hit of dopamine and nostalgia all at the same time, which is why it lands second on my list. And so coming in the gold medal place or first in my list of values that Facebook brings is the marketplace. Even though the marketplace came later on in the Facebook timeline, it was probably the biggest factor that kept me on Facebook as long as it did. The more I got into my hobbies of filmmaking and drone flying and whatever it was, the more I benefited from having a place where someone was probably selling something that I could use. And as a result, I got a lot of amazing deals, and I sold a lot of things and made a lot of money. So for those reasons, the marketplace is the top of my list. I think Facebook does bring value into our lives. I'm just not sure that the benefits Facebook brings to our lives outweigh the negatives that also come with it. And that brings us to the criticisms that I have on Facebook. There is no shortage of Facebook bashing. There's more than enough to go around. So I'm just going to focus on the top 2 criticisms I have on Facebook and what I think are the most egregious or the most impactful in our lives. And so coming in at second place for me is Facebook's attention harboring factory that it's become. Facebook is designed in such a way to get us on the platform and keep us there for as long as possible. When Facebook started, it didn't have the infinity scroll. That came later. And so what that meant is you would scroll to the bottom and there'd be nothing new for you to see, so you would leave the platform. Then they invented the infinity scroll, which is another reason for you to just continue to scroll forever. The reason for this is very pragmatic. They're funded by advertiser dollars. So the more that they can keep you on the platform, the more valuable it is to advertisers. And The Social Dilemma describes it perfectly. If you're not being sold a product, you are being sold as the product. So I'm not going to say any more on that. It's horrible. I don't like it. That's why it's second on my list. And as bad as attention harboring is in our lives and for ourselves, the thing that I think is worse and that lands at number 1 on my list is the way it decreases our motivations. When we continually see other people posting their best life, the highlights of their lives, all of the amazingness and their comments and their captions about how great life is and how they're pursuing everything that's awesome, even though we consciously know that it's just the highlights, there's something that happens subconsciously that makes us internalize all of these metrics that we're seeing from other people. And the detriment of this point is not all at once, but It's the amalgamation of everything that I see online. I'm not immediately less than them, but when I look at all of the bests of everyone around me, I quickly realize how much further behind I am at any one thing than them. And the mimetic desire in me to be what other people want me to be, or to be interested in what other people are interested in, always has me behind somebody else. And the detriment for that is I lose motivation to even try and start. And I'm ultimately left feeling really down about myself. I want to be clear, I don't think that my benefits and criticisms are an all-encompassing package, but I think for me they are the three biggest benefits to Facebook and the two biggest criticisms I have of Facebook that are enough to make me think again about the platform. And I wanted to put them out there so that we could get to these 7 questions that are inspired by Adam Grant in his book, Think Again. He explains in this book that while we constantly update our beliefs and ideologies about certain things based on new information, we have certain beliefs and ideologies about ourselves and within ourselves that we don't address, that are stagnant. It's great to have an opinion about a 1995 car that I have, but it's not great to continue to hold a belief about myself that I held in 1995. In the same way, it's great to have these beliefs about Facebook, but it's not great to have these beliefs about Facebook that I formed in 2006 that are not relevant in 2021. Which brings us to the questions. These questions are not meant to sway you in one way or another, but the answers that you give are definitely going to point you in a direction. So my hope is that in between each question you pause the video and really think what the answer is to you. So, first question, how old was I when I signed up for Facebook? Second question, how did I benefit from having Facebook in my life back then? Third question, how has Facebook changed since then? Fourth question, how have I changed since then? Fifth question, how does Facebook positively affect my life now? Sixth question, how does Facebook negatively affect my life now? And then the last question, which is the most important, is if I did not have Facebook now, would I sign up for it today? So to wrap this video up as nicely as possible, Facebook is a very complicated issue. There are no simple answers. There's no 7 questions that are going to perfectly encompass the complexity of the subject and the platform, but I hope that you've gained some insight into how Facebook affects you, how it's changed for you, and how you've changed for it. Don't be afraid to delete it if you need to. More than anything, I hope that you found this interesting and informative, and that you and I continue to grow and change. I'll see you in the next video.